We are live and it is Friday and we are talking all things business. Hello, Jandre. How are you?
Magriet, I'm so lekker. Nice to be here.
That is great. So, how was your week? How is
Everything,
everything? Everything.
everything is good, man. You know what? Like I say, always. What is my claim to fame or my quote? My famous quote is like everything is just a
Peaceful
perspective, right?
profits.
Yeah,
Peaceful
peaceful
profits.
profits. Yeah,
That's
true. I mean, that's not easy to get to, but the point is like everything is a perspective, right? Life is a perspective. So at the end of the day, I believe that if you really work on yourself and how you perceive things around you and truly actually ask yourself, am I perceiving it the correct way? Is there a lesson to learn from this? Is there something positive I can take from this? The moment you start thinking like that, then life gets just so much better. But we're in a very great time of the year. I mean, I know this is your favorite time. This is my favorite time. Not only because it's warmer and we can get in the sun and walk and train and exercise and but it's also just that there's a different energy alongside that, and then also just good for business. Like this is, the 3 months of the year where online stores specifically make their most money of the year, which is quite exciting. People are a little bit more cheerful because from November the sales start to pick up, and I think yeah, it's just been a good week. Busy but good, very good. How was yours?
great. So yesterday, there's this one student of mine. They started in lockdown to make these portable bras. It's literally a bra that you can put in your Hilux bakkie at the back seat. You just throw it in, and it's stainless steel, and you literally just pull it up like this, and you can bra anywhere. And yeah, when she started with the social media business school, she was like because she's probably my age or a little bit older. And she's like, what is the social media thing? And like, I don't want to do it. And then she started with organic social media. So, guys, if you're watching, I'm live with Jandre, and just say hi in the comments. Tell us where you're watching from. We are super excited to talk about business and this time of the year. But anyway, let me just quickly finish the story. So, and it took her very long to actually go to the next step. But she started with her organic social media. And at first, she didn't want to show her face. So it's her and her husband. And then, obviously, I like push my students to show your face because people want to see you. I know there's lots of people saying it's not necessary, but anyway. So they started showing their face and they started actually doing demos of this bra. And what happened is that someone from Australia saw them on Instagram and started buying from them. So, from their organic social media, they got their first international customer. Another thing I teach them is to do events, like any event. Like, I love doing events, whether it's a breakfast with people in the industry or whatever. So, she had this idea to do a outdoor event from this teaching that I gave them. And they did this outdoor expo event that is around their business, but then other people can also, but yeah, anyway, so people came there. And then eventually, I think it's been 2 years that she's been with me. Eventually, about a month ago, she's like, you know what? I'm going to do this Facebook ad thing. And she
Nice.
was so scared. And Yaku, who works with me, had a one-on-one with her, and they put up her sales campaign straight to the website. Now, her product is about between 4,000 and 6,000 round. So, and she started running ads. And she was on a call yesterday, and I'm like, how's it going with the ads? And she said, you will not believe how many sales we're making. And it was just the most amazing because she was just like, I cannot tell you how many sales we're making. And she didn't even know exactly what she's doing. Like, and I told her, I see so many different versions of your ad. Like, how do you do it? And she's like, because I explained to them, I'm sort of like that lazy marketer. You know what I do is I put up a dynamic ad. Like, I just say whatever videos, images Facebook want to use it. And she's like, she's exactly the same. She put up this dynamic ad with different images, different videos, and let Facebook decide to show it. But she told us, you will not believe how our product is selling. And from someone who was literally so scared of social media. So hearing things like that is just, it just makes
That's
life
cool.
amazing. Yeah, it's so
That
cool.
is very
Guys,
cool.
if you're watching, please comment. Tell us where you're watching from. Say hi to Jandre. Ask your questions. It's your time to ask your questions. Yeah, so it's just amazing, Obviously, it doesn't always work that way. But what I told her is obviously she's got a great product.
Mm.
And that is always something like if you've got a great product, something people want, then if you market that, it's gonna sell. It's gonna work.
I'm actually talking about that exactly. I'm busy recording a YouTube series where we're going to start a brand new business from scratch. And we just unpacking like what are we looking for, what the margins are, logo design, branding, literally doing everything from scratch. So hoping to start releasing that in the next month or so, maybe early in the year. But so we're actually officially starting a new business just to document it and play around with it. And yeah, let's see how that goes. I think there's going to be a lot of value for people watching, so you can
Absolutely.
understand the thing. I always say, don't listen to the advice, understand how we got to the advice. That's
Yes.
what people don't understand. It's like the really good teachers don't share advice. They give you the information that led up to the advice and the
Mm.
context and the nuances. And I think that's ideally what the series is about. Is like, you want to say someone run Facebook ads. It's like, no, that's advice. Take a
Yeah.
step back and understand why you want to do all these things, how to do it. So yeah, quite excited about that.
Yes, because actually why I spoke about the fact that they really have a good product is number one, she didn't really know what she's doing. So she's not running the best Facebook ads. Number two, the website is, like we talk a lot about things like improving website conversion rates and all of that. And their website is not,
Mm,
up there, but still, because of the product, it doesn't matter. So maybe later she can look at those things, but the product is selling regardless because she's got this great product.
mm.
So
We've got King Kudu here. He says, sorry, I'll show this one quickly. So King Kudu, just FYI, you're ignoring my message just now. So just saying, it's all good. We all get busy. So we've got Jandre in Ferreira. Hi, Jandre Magriet. I'm watching from Gordon's Bay. I have a question for you. Will it be better to run a small amount over a long period? I'm assuming you're referring ad budgets, or a bigger amount over a shorter period. So that's a great question. Do you want me to take that one, Magriet, or do you have something to say about it? So let me keep the question here for everybody else watching. The question is, how much money do you want to make? If you have to think about it, it's not really about whether you should run a small amount over a long period or a big amount over a shorter period. It's just like what's needed. Magriet, for example, runs a big amount in a short period because you do that for webinars, right? So
yes.
this is again where advice is not always black and white. So let's not talk about the advice, but how I am concluding to getting to the point. So the information and the nuances, right? So it depends on your objective. Like Magriet runs a webinar, and you don't want to run a small amount over a long period of time because people lose interest in the webinar. The excitement dies down. And the thing about a webinar is usually if it's last minute, people are more inclined to actually pay attention and join and show up because it is in my immediate schedule, as opposed to, oh, this will happen in 2 or 3 weeks' time. So Magriet, for example, spends a lot of money in a short period of time to get as many people on the webinar as possible. And there's a high percentage of chance that most people will show up for the webinar purely because of the fact that it is conveniently scheduled into the next 7 days. They've made plans to accommodate, and they're still excited about it because they just heard about it. So you want to shorten the time from hearing about it and joining the actual webinar. That's why she spends a big amount in a short period.
Mm-hmm.
For an online business, it's obviously different, right? If you have a BOGO special or a discount running or a flash sale, then you're going to have to spend a big amount in a short period of time. Because if you're going to spend a small amount, you're not going to get the traffic, which means you're not going to maximize the sale to its full potential. But if you're just doing evergreen budgets, evergreen products and prices, like this is the set price of the product, $199, it's not going to change. And most stores obviously do it that way. They have just normal prices. Not every store is a one day only. So in that case, it's not so much about spending a small amount or spending a big amount. It's what can you afford on a monthly basis. So my question to you is, what can you afford on a monthly basis? You don't have to answer that, but this is an answer for yourself. Is can you afford $3,000 a month? Can you afford $5,000 a month? 10, 20, what is it? If you say, well, it's as long as a piece of string, which means that your budget is infinite, then I would suggest starting with a minimum of 10 to 20 grand a month. We usually advise people to start with 10 grand a month, because it is very seldom that you're going to see a massive amount of sales for that budget early on in the business. Also, we need to keep in mind that earlier and the younger the business is, the more you will pay for a cost per sale, and the more mature the business is, hopefully, the lower the cost per sale will be. So we need to factor in how old is your business. We need to factor in what kind of prices are you running. And then it's more about what can you actually afford sustainably for at least a period of 90 days or so. So what budget can you afford for 90 days that is not going to put you out in the street, that's going to force you into bankruptcy? Is there something that you're comfortable with? And then say, well, let's hypothetically say 30,000 Rand over 3 months. That's 10,000 Rand a month. 10,000 Rand a month if you break it down per day, it's going to be around 300 Rand a day. So in essence, you can spend around 330 Rand a day for the next 90 days. And hopefully there's a lot of lessons and learnings that come your way because of, the early stages you find yourself in. And as you start to see sales and as you start to see it's profitable, you start to scale accordingly. You take a percentage of your profit and reinvest it into your marketing every single month. And that's literally how we started one of our businesses, the Shopify Award that you see there. We went from 0 to 10,000 orders in one year, 12 months. But we started with a 10 grand budget. And this month we're spending 600,000-700,000. And that's literally every single month we just put money back. So for Black Friday, we're probably going to spend $1 million. So from our perspective, it's understanding that start somewhere that you can afford. That's more crucial than a small amount or a big amount, whatever it is. It's all dependent on your appetite for risk.
And I think and this is also what she's saying, is that it depends on your business. Can you take in all those orders? Like two of my other students, the one that started a home renovation business, she spent 1,000 Rand on Facebook and she got 10 customers, and then she had to stop that because she was full. Like you also saying, you're full. So it depends on the business. And we spoke about it, I think last week or the week before, Jandre, where you said that business that you were scaling, like you had to build the back end as you were scaling, so
we were building the airplane as we took off. That's basically what happened.
Yes, that's amazing. But I think just starting, so many people are so scared of starting, playing around, making the mistakes, learning from that, and then improving. So guys, we are talking all things business. If you're watching, please comment below and tell us where you're watching from and ask your questions. Okay, let's see what Ray is saying. She says, for my local business, I run consistent ad campaign because I need new clients each month. Average spend 10,000 Rand per month, need 20 new clients each month. So the great thing about Ray is she understands her numbers. So she says she needs 20 new clients a month. But what does that actually mean? It probably means she needs 100 leads a month. And in order for her to get, but that's the nice thing because she understands her numbers. So she knows her conversion rate on leads is X%. So say, for instance, it's 10% or whatever, or 20%, then she knows if she gets in 100 leads or 200 leads. And according to that, she can decide on her budget. 200 leads per month to get... We're doing the same thing. Sorry. We're both adding the comment to the screen for those who are wondering. I'm not laughing at Ray. I'm just laughing at we both.
You were talking, so I didn't think you were going to multitask. I actually forgot that you're a woman and you're actually exceptionally good at multitasking.
You can multitask. Absolutely. So, guys, if you think women can multitask, just Just remind Jandre that women can multitask. Please do.
I just saw that in live action.
So what's great about Ray is obviously she also has a home renovation business. So they do awnings, and she has a limited area. So she cannot spend 100,000 rand on ads because she doesn't have the team to be able to do all that. She just have a limited area and a limited amount of jobs a month that she can do to make her business profitable. So I think that is the first thing, is knowing the numbers. And I know for Jandre always says this thing that entrepreneurs sometimes are not business owners because they don't know their numbers. So Ray is a business owner. She understands her numbers.
This is the thing. I mean, and I will die by that, is that entrepreneur is not a business owner. A business owner, what I'm saying is there are entrepreneurs who can be business owners, but I'm saying it's two individual roles. Does that make sense? Like, an entrepreneur is more creative. They think about the ideas, they lead the vision, they innovating, they're improving the product to service, and they literally moving the company forward. A business owner is someone who actually looks at the business as they should. Like, what are we getting in? What are we getting out? What are we doing to improve logistics? What are we doing to improve operations? What is our profit margins like? Who do we not hire? Who do we not hire? And I think people don't really understand that those two are two different skills. But when you start out and there's nobody else, you have to combine both of them in order to be successful. And I think a lot of people completely don't understand that.
So this business that you're starting from scratch, is that an e-commerce business?
Yeah. So we're gonna, for those who are tuning in, we are planning on launching a docu-series on YouTube where we start a business from scratch and just plan out what we're going to sell. So I literally recorded the first episode yesterday. So I'm like, what are we going to sell? This is what we look for. How do we find a gap in the market? How do we make sure that it's something that people want? How do we make sure that the margins are right? How do we make sure that it's not just a seasonal thing and it's something that can go year round? So these are the stuff that we look at, obviously, when you want to start a business. So it's going to be like a 10-15 minute episode once a week or once every 2 weeks or something. Still figuring it out as we go. But I think it's going to be very cool. So yeah, to answer your question, we're building the business from scratch, literally. Yeah. So we started running ads on the 1st of October. So what we're doing now is we're just recording the thought processes of starting this business. Then this episode 2 will be explaining, the name, the branding, what we're thinking, putting the website together, the psychology of the website at the moment and whatnot. And then episode 3 will be reflecting on spending money on ads, how it's going. Is it profitable? Is it not? Why is it not profitable? How do we fix it? And it'll be completely raw. So this business might fail. So I'm putting a lot of pressure on myself. So, if it fails, it fails. If it, not every single business is going to work, and that's also okay. But I want to keep it as authentic as possible.
So if we can just go back to the e-commerce side of business, the understanding the numbers and the business side of things. I think there's a lot of people that start e-commerce businesses, but they don't really understand how to look at the numbers. Do you maybe have some, I know it's a long discussion, but some short snippets of advice for
yeah, sure.
Because there's so many things, like, you have to pay for the courier, you have to pay for Facebook ads, and I sometimes think that people don't really put that into the equation. And then also, like, how the pricing, like how to look at that. So perhaps you have some bits and pieces.
Yeah, 100%. So I think the first thing you look at is, obviously, is it a product that people want, right? You can't force people to buy a product, no matter how good your marketing is. And if your marketing is so good that you are selling a product that people don't want, guess what? They're only going to buy it once and then never again. So
what does it mean? What does it mean if you say it's a product that people want? How do you know that?
It's either something that they're already using in their daily lives, or it's solving a pain point that they either are aware of or not even aware of yet. So it's either a solution to a pain point, or it's something that they're just using on an everyday basis already. So it's just something that they're interested in buying. So for example, I don't want to spoil obviously what the episode 1 is about, but I'm just going to say, like, people drink coffee every day. So in essence, that is what we looked at. We went like, what is something that people drink every single day that they're going to keep buying for the next 10 years? Yeah, I don't think people are going to stop buying coffee for the next 5 to 10 years. You know what I'm saying? So the question is, how do you, if you wanted to enter a competitive market, how do you stand out? We did that with fragrances. So we went and saw opportunity in the market for fragrances. And some people would say the market is so saturated. And it is. But it's saturated for a reason, because everybody uses it. So there's two ways to approach finding a product, in my opinion. You either go into a very saturated market or a saturated market and put your own spin on it to make it unique. Or you find a new market that doesn't really exist yet, meaning you are solving a pain point that people are not aware of that they have. Or it's a pain point that they know they have, but there's no solution in the market for that pain point. So those are really the only two ways to go about it. Is either you enter a saturated market, but you have a unique selling point attached to it that can help you stand out, or you are standing out from a unique selling point because there's nobody else who's solving that problem the way you do. So those are really the two ways that you can think about it. And the bottom line of those statements are that you need something unique. If you're not going to have something unique in the market, you're going to struggle. So I have this, I think a YouTube, I did an Instagram video. Let me actually find it and maybe see if I can play it for you guys. I might waste time finding it now on Instagram. But the point is that I explained that if you're the first person in the market solving that problem, you have a really good chance of keeping your cost per sale super low. When you are in a semi-competitive market, but you have a unique angle, the cost per sale is going to go up a little bit, but it's never going to be as low as you if you're the only one. And when you are in a competitive market and you don't have a unique selling point, your cost per sale is always going to be high. So in essence, that's literally the psychology on the kind of like a cost per acquisition graph on how if your business is structured, how it's structured, and what pain point you're solving in the market, and how you're solving it, how it's going to affect your cost per acquisition. So if you're the only person in the market, guess what? You're going to have really low CPAs. Amazing. If you're in a saturated market, but you have your unique spin, you've got unique selling points, then you have a good chance of still being profitable. But if you in a market that everybody is in and you have zero unique selling points, guess what? You're most likely not going to run that business in a profitable manner. So that's the first thing.
So just on that point, when I look at new products for the market, one thing that I'm always very concerned of is if you are the only person in the market that want to do this, I always ask myself, why is that? Is it maybe that people are not aware they've got a problem? Because to me, I'm so kind of, I don't want to say scared, but when there's a total new product in the market, I sometimes feel like it's going to take a lot of money and effort to educate people to understand why they need this product. And why I'm thinking about this is I had someone talk to me about this new opportunity, which I think can really work well. So it's this water. So this water, it's a water machine, but apparently there's something with this water. This water is the water that nourishes the cells, and I don't know what. But they
Straight
have to.
Is it straight from God?
Apparently, something like that. But through,
straight out of heaven.
From heaven to Japan, and then from Japan to the rest of the world. But it's a big thing. It's a big thing. So it's this company, and they sell this water machine, and you become part of this. And there's something with this water, but it is, like you say, it is straight from heaven, and it nourishes every cell. And there's something, our water is dead, and I don't know what. And I was just saying to her, you know what? It's great, but you have to educate people on, because if I had to think about myself, so I sell social media coaching for entrepreneurs. It's an easy service to sell. Everyone needs it. They need it, and it's very easy to show people that they need it because everyone needs it. And I have been doing it for so long, and still every day, what I do is I educate people. Now, if it's a product that people they don't know that the current water they're drinking, there's something wrong with it. I feel like it's going to take a lot of effort to convince someone that there's something wrong. I don't know.
Yeah, it depends on how good you are at convincing people. So this is where sales psychology is crucial, right? Marketing is basically more just branding, and then there's the sales psychology element that has to be brought into the equation, and that's where sales pages fall into place, and that's where sales psychology really plays a huge part in converting traffic into customers, and that's where funnels come in. That's where lead magnets come in. So it's really understanding that there are ways to sell those products. Well, people drink water on a daily basis. I literally buy a coffee and a water every single morning. And it's stuff that we're not going to stop using. So in my opinion, I think in fact, I've stumbled upon a similar opportunity with someone who does something very similar. And I was just finding the time to execute on it. But I think it's a good opportunity because you're in a market that people are becoming more conscious of the water that they're drinking. So that market is going to continue growing. And that's the thing. You want to be in a market that is continuously growing. So I had to do my research, thanks to ChatGPT. The nice thing about ChatGPT is like you can literally run through the whole internet in seconds and go find case studies on where certain industries are going. So that's literally what I did. I was like, hey, listen, how do we combine this industry with this industry? Where do you think it's going? And I'm not saying that information is going to be 100% accurate, but it gives you some form of starting point, and some form of information and context in order for you to help make a better decision or go further and research things further. So long story short, you need a product that people want or need. You need high margins. That's the second thing. I think people don't know what kind of margins they need when it comes to an online business. So we don't really, if we get involved and we start our own businesses, or if we invest in businesses, we don't really look at businesses who don't have at least 150 to 200% markup. And that sounds ridiculous because people are like, oh, but you're going to be screwing consumers over. Like you get people who think like that, who probably don't understand what running a business is all about. But you need to understand that if the cost of the product is not fairly priced in accordance to what you're going to charge for it to the public, then how the hell are you going to hire people? Because you're going to hire people based on the profit between what you sell it for and what you buy it for. So if I buy this coffee for $50, hypothetically, and I sell it for $100, which will never happen, right? Unless you live in New York, then it's hypothetically 100% markup. Now, and that is a 50% GP. That is a good number to have. But if you're going to be selling online, you need to understand that the cost of each sale needs to be factored in. This is not a coffee store where you pay your rent once a month and then people just stream in and buy coffee. And the more people come in, the lower your cost per acquisition will be. This is understand, like if it's a brand new business, you're going to have to run Facebook ads. And you're probably going to spend $100, if not more, to get a sale. So if I'm going to sell this coffee for $100 and it costs me 50, after running a Facebook ad, I'm already making a 50 Rand loss. Then that is excluding shipping, whether you're going to pay for it or whether the consumer is going to pay for it. That's excluding the software that you're going to be using. That is excluding hiring a person picking and packing the product. So that's excluding the payment gateway fees. That is excluding Shopify's 1% fee. So when you start to understand that there's a lot of things that goes into selling a product, and you need to make sure that your numbers are correct, which is at least a 200% markup, 150% minimum, up until as high as you can go. Then you understand that the profit in between is what's going to help you grow the business. It's going to help you expand into a bigger warehouse. It's going to help you hire more people. It's going to allow you to spend more money on marketing. So the only reason we've been managed to scale that business to, I think this month we're going to do 4 million. The only reason we've been able to do that online only is purely because there's enough profit in it for us to continue reinvesting into hiring people, getting a bigger warehouse. We're literally moving into a bigger warehouse in the next 3 weeks. And at the same time, take care of all the other things that we need to take care of. So people don't know what the margins should be, which means when they start to run the business, they go backwards. So 150% markup would be ideal, if not more. And then now you need to be clever on how you're going to find your customers. So, and how you're going to do it. The biggest goal now is to make sure that your cost per acquisition is as low as possible, because the lower it is, the higher the amount of profit that you're going to make. So the things that you need to take into account if you wanted to do the math for yourself. I've got a spreadsheet here that I can quickly share with you guys, but I don't want to give too much away for the episode that I'm going to share. But it's basically understanding that I have a cost price. Then I factor in the costs of a sale on Facebook, hypothetically, let's say $150 to start with. Then I factor in 3% payment fee from PayFast. Then I factor in the 1% Shopify fee. Then I factor in VAT. You still have to continue, like you need to still include 50% if you're going to register for VAT. Because what a lot of people do is, oh, it's profitable, that's amazing. And then they have to register for VAT, and then 50% of their profit is gone.
I know.
But you can obviously deduct, cost of goods, and if you buy a new computer, you can deduct 15% from the rent if the people that you're paying from is VAT registered, obviously, and they're charging you VAT accordingly. But the reality is that you're going to then have to learn how to offset that VAT as well. And I think this is why entrepreneurs and business owners are two different things when people start out. It's like what I'm speaking now, I'm speaking about being a business owner. But an entrepreneur, someone is like, I'm going to sell this kind of coffee or this kind of water to people and get them to buy it. Amazing. Entrepreneurial. Great. Business owner hat. How the hell are we going to do this profitably and scale it accordingly and build a business around it for the next 5 years that we can sell?
So I think what I take from this, and this is something that I really see a lot with people, when I ask them, what does it cost you for the product? They would say, oh, this is what the product cost me. This is what the box cost me. And I've had it with more than one e-commerce business owner trying to help them to see, and they don't factor in the things like, what does your rent cost you? What is like you said, the VAT and all of those things. And if you factor all of that in, on top of that, you must make that, put up that margin.
So Ray just said Plato Coffee is a great case study in understanding your business and the market and creating a business model that serves both. So funny enough, I know the founder, Stefan Bradell. Yeah, very nice guy. Actually met him at the event 2 weeks ago. Very nice guy. They've got 67 locations.
Wow.
They're doing exceptionally well. So amazing. Plato Coffee is a great business model.
Yeah, that's great. So, guys, if you're watching and you've got any questions, maybe we've got about 10 minutes left. Maybe we should move over to Black Friday and talk a little bit about that, getting ready for Black Friday. I know we've spoken about this before, but we could maybe look at how to make the most of Black Friday. I think I actually saw a Black Friday special on Facebook already.
Oh, is it?
Yeah, I'm sure I saw something.
Actually, I saw something yesterday too. It was actually a marketing agency that said they've got an early bird discount for Black Friday. I was like, I'm pretty sure 5 years from now, Black Friday is just going to be from July.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be Christmas in July is going to change to Black Friday in July.
Yes. Yeah. So, guys, if you've got any questions regarding Black Friday and some campaigns, I think something that I remember from last year that you said that is quite important. I remembered it still because we spoke about Black Friday last year. And one thing that you said is, if you do a Black Friday deal, it has to be a real deal. Like, it's not like a 10% or a 20% discount. It has to be like a real Black Friday deal, because otherwise it's sort of just like, being a joke in a sense.
100%. I think people underestimate how bad it is, or how difficult it is to really get people to be excited about what's to offer, because you've got all these brands doing 60, 50, 40% off, and then you come with a 10% off. They're going to be like, please, that's just an everyday deal. That's just like a deal that you run all the time. And this is why margins are crucial, because if you don't have the margin in your products, you can't do exciting deals like that. And those deals, a lot of people also are under the impression that Black Friday is there to make a ton of money. Revenue, yes, but what it actually does, it allows you to buy customers at the cheapest cost for the next 12 months. So the thing is, like, look, we will make a profit with Black Friday, I'm sure of it. But the reality is that I'm more excited about how many new customers we're going to get. Because once you get that customer and you have a good product and service, guess what? They're most likely going to come back. So that business, and a few others, from our clients and so forth, the average return customer rate's about 15 to 25%, depending on the industry. So when you know that you've got a 25% customer rate, repeat rate on a monthly basis, then that person who buys from you, at least like a huge percentage of them are going to come again in the next 90 to 120 days. And I think that's what we need to focus on, is that Black Friday is there for you to stand out, grow your brand, build your brand, acquire customers at a low cost, and then you can hopefully service those customers throughout the rest of the year as well, whilst continuously adding more customers to your list. And I think if we start thinking like that, long term, not about how much profit I can make today, how much customers can we get today at the cheapest cost? That's always what you should be thinking. How many customers can we get at the cheapest cost? And Black Friday is the most amazing opportunity for you to do just that.
Well, I hope everyone that joined is as excited about this period as we are, and I hope we could inspire people to be more excited and to go and look at their numbers. And that is always something I walk away with. Is look at the numbers. Let the
Devil's in the
numbers.
details.
Yes.
So you're not going to go anywhere if you don't have numbers. Are just a reflection of reality. It's just basically reflecting the health of the business. That's all it is. So what you're doing is you're not paying attention. If you're not looking at your numbers, you're not paying attention to the health of the business. So what you're saying is, I don't care what health of the business is. I'm just going to keep doing my thing, and I'm going to hope it turns out okay. It's like having a baby that's crying and you're not paying attention to it. That's literally what it's like. It's like this baby is crying, probably bumped its toe somewhere, shouting and screaming, and you're just like, nah, we'll just go for lunch maybe. Yeah, maybe lunch will help. And I think that's what we need. Numbers are really just a reflection of the health of the business, and you need to pay attention to that if you want to keep growing the baby that you've started.
Absolutely. Thank you so much. It was great having you again, Jandre. And
All the
guys,
best.
if you've got any last questions, you're welcome to ask. We will even answer it afterwards. But yeah, it was fun, and I hope you have a very successful week after the weekend.
Thank you. And you guys too. Much love to everybody. Good luck. And then we'll see you guys next week. Bye.
Thanks so much. Bye-bye.